to this story now as Marine Sergeant Andrew Tahmooressi faces more time now in a Mexican prison after making his first official court appearance on gun charges this week. His attorney now says that the case is tainted by several human rights violations. Adam Housley is live in Los Angeles. Adam, what is going on here?
Well, you know, this is the main angle the attorney's taking to try to get him released is to say that he was basically violated at the border in the sense that he wasn't allowed proper representation. They took the matter rather than being a customs matter and made it a criminal matter right away, even though he declared the fact that he had weapons in his car. They detained him for something like 8 or 9 hours without having a lawyer there. So there's a lot of questions there. Then he brought into evidence ideas that there were a number of papers missing, 11 different pages of documents missing. Dates on some of those documents that were there were 3 days after he was even arrested, so they weren't even correct. So there are a lot of questions that Fernando Benitez asked the two Mexican customs agents yesterday, and he plans to continue that. Here's part of what he said to Greta last night in response to this idea of a human rights violation. Take a listen.
I got a sense that the prosecutor wanted to prove that Andrew had been here before, but even if that's the case, which it is, it doesn't preclude the possibility of him making the mistake that he made.
Right. And what the prosecutor was trying to do yesterday, and again, only 11 people were inside the courthouse. Here's Tahmooressi leaving yesterday the courthouse. The prosecutor tried to convince the judge that Tahmooressi had gone back and forth to Mexico a couple of times before and knew how to get there, and that this wasn't an accident. That's what he was insinuating yesterday in this hearing, Martha.
I mean, you know, I think on the face of it, from what we've seen on this side, it appears like he made a mistake, and that he spoke to people about that right away and said he made a mistake. Is there something more to this that we're not really getting, Adam?
You know, that's a good question. From all the evidence that we've seen and we've heard, it's the same thing. I mean, it really goes back to intent. And what his attorney tells us also is if he doesn't get it thrown out for human rights violations, he's going to try to get it thrown out on intent. I mean, there's no intent here is what he says. It's very clear that he was going into Mexico on accident, at least because he stopped right away, told customs officials right away, waved them over. So if you don't have intent and there's some other violations there, really the whole case, they believe, should be thrown out. It's next in court on August 4th, and a little bit different than our judicial system. The judge handles the cases there in segments, so theoretically the judge could throw this out or release him at any time, although we don't expect that before the August 4th hearing at that Tijuana courthouse, Martha.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Adam, thank you very much.
Yeah.